Hello, Reiki Cafe community. Izzy here, and I wanted to share a thought that I had about limiting beliefs recently, because I know that if you've been following Reiki Cafe University for any length of time, you know that one of the things we talk about the most is these limiting beliefs that we have in our minds that can hold us back from success, that can hold us back from finding love in relationships, from feeling completely confident and at ease within ourselves, from having that alignment with our soul, from following our soul's purpose, etc., etc. Our limiting beliefs really do limit so much of our lives, and a lot of the work that we do to heal, whether that's through Reiki, through our courses, or just through personal development in general, is focused around healing these limiting beliefs. And I was in a situation the other day where I was at home, I was talking with my brother, somebody that I love dearly and I trust very much, and we use the same bank. And I promise that this ties into limiting beliefs, so roll with me here for a minute. We use the same bank, and I was talking with him, and he said something about how he was going to switch banks, and I was like, why are you going to switch banks? We love the one that we've used, I've never had a problem with it. And he was like, well, it's not letting me deposit these checks that I have. And I just happened to have a check that I needed to deposit. And so he tells me that the check deposit system for our bank is down if you're trying to do it through mobile, and he can't deposit anything, and he's really frustrated about it. And I was like, oh, that's too bad, I'm sorry to hear that, and we moved on. But what I took from this conversation is that here's this person, somebody that I love and I trust, telling me that I won't be able to deposit this check that I have that I need to deposit. And so I just let it be. I was like, I'll just wait for a couple days and see how the system goes, see if it works, and we'll come back to it. So a couple days later, I came back, I went to deposit my check, and I deposited it without an issue. So I texted my brother and I said, hey, it looks like the deposit system is back up and running. And he said to me, no, it's still not letting me deposit my check. And I had this moment where I realized that this is a perfect example of what happens when we take on a limiting belief as we're growing up. Because often these beliefs that we have that come to be limiting as an adult are actually beliefs that were helpful or cultivated in us in childhood by someone that we loved or that we trusted. And one way that we can define a limiting belief is that it is an opinion or a facet of someone else's reality that we are taught to take on as fact, particularly when we're children. So for example, you can see this in your parents, of the way that they handle and approach money, their opinions about how money functions in the world, how you interact with money, etc. Their opinions are given to you as a child as if they were a fact, as if they were a 100% true element of this reality. And because we love them, because we trust them, we take that opinion on and we say, well, of course, that's how the world functions. Much like I did with this check deposit system and my brother. Because I loved him and I trusted him, I took on his reality, his opinion, his experience of not being able to deposit his check and said, that will be true for me. I will take this on. I will accept this reality as my own because I love and I trust him. And I didn't question it. And so then I waited for 3 days and I deposited in my check, when in reality, that experience was only true for him. It was an experience that he was having in his reality with his bank account that had absolutely nothing to do with my reality and my bank account. But because there were similarities and because I loved and trusted this person who was telling me this information, I just took it on without questioning it. And this is how limiting beliefs occur. There is someone, hey Joanna, there is someone in our life who we love and we trust and we are taught to view as having a higher, better perspective of reality than we do because they have more experience, because they're older, because whatever it is. And they tell us something. They tell us something about how they interact with reality, about how they have come to perceive how the world works. And they tell us this as if it's true. Because what our parents are doing, what our guardians are doing, our friends, our teachers, our peers, etc., is we're all trying to help each other, right? Subconsciously. We're all trying to say, this has been my experience in this world, and I want to save you the time and the trouble and the effort of having to figure this out. So here, I'll just give you this piece of information to save you the trouble, which is wonderful. But the problem occurs when we realize that those elements of their reality that they're sharing with us are really just that, pieces of their reality. It's their opinion, it's their personal experience, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be true for us. Just because something is true for another person does not mean it's going to be our experience as well. And so what we have to do when we're starting to work through our limiting beliefs, when we're starting to come to this place of questioning, is this belief serving me anymore? Is we first have to realize that what we take from other people, that we took from our parents, our guardians, our teachers when we were young, and we internalized as a true fact about reality. We have to realize that those were in fact someone else's opinion that we were taught to treat as a fact. And so this then gives us the opportunity to say, okay, it's not necessarily a fact. Could it be a fact? Absolutely. But first we have to go through this process of questioning. And this is where this sense of responsibility, this sense of guilt might come in when we start questioning things, because we were given these opportunities, we were given these beliefs, we were given these opinions by people that we loved and that we trusted. And so when we start to question these, when we start to question their opinions, when we start to question our limiting beliefs, we can often feel like we are doing something wrong, that we have something to be guilty about because we're questioning these beliefs that people we loved and trusted gave us. And this is where you have to, again, take a step back and realize that in questioning, you are not degrading the other person's experience. You are not negating the fact that that opinion or belief was true for them in their reality. But what you are doing is you are doing yourself and also the other person the service of being able to say, is this true for me? You are releasing yourself and the other person from the bond that this opinion has created, that this belief you have taken on, that you have been told to believe as fact. You're releasing yourself and the other person from the burden of having to stay true to that when it is no longer true for you. You are giving yourself the freedom to be able to ask, not is this true, not was the other person right for giving me this belief, not why was this wrong, but truly just acknowledging that this belief is now limiting me. It is no longer serving me, which means that it is at some level no longer true in my reality. And why is that? Where have I grown out of this belief? Why was this the belief that I took on? Who gave me this belief? And how is it true for them, but not true for me? Asking these questions can give you the freedom to be able to then explore from a place of curiosity and compassion the fact that this limiting belief that you have was truly just someone else's opinion, and it does not have to be true for you. It might not be true for you. You can give yourself the freedom to then go and explore this without those feelings of guilt, because you're not negating your experience. You're not negating the other person's experience. But what you're doing is you're giving both people involved the blessing of being released from the burden of having to hold on to an opinion that is no longer serving you. And I think when we start to look at limiting beliefs in this way, it can be really empowering, because for so many of us, those limiting beliefs that we have about I'm not worthy, or about time is money, or about money is the root of all evil, or whatever limiting beliefs that we have, we see them as facts. We think that they are just inherent aspects of our reality, and often 90% of the time, I would say that's not the case. And that's why we can identify them as a limiting belief, because they are no longer aligned with our current perception of reality. They are no longer aligned with who we are and how we're interacting with our lives. And that's why we call them limiting, because they are smaller than we have grown and evolved to be. And the way that we need to approach these is by recognizing that they aren't facts. They're just opinions, and we can change our opinions. We are allowed to change our opinions. We are supposed to change our opinions as we continue to grow and evolve along this life journey. So I just wanted to share that with you all. It was really empowering for me as well as for our students when I've been sharing it, and I thought the community might benefit from it as well. If you're interested in diving more into healing your limiting beliefs, definitely check out this week's podcast episode over on Reiki Cafe Radio. I'll drop the link in the comments once I end this video, as well as the new blog that I just published over on our blog on ReikiCafeUniversity.com. I hope you all are having a fantastic week and continue to do so. And if you have any questions, if you had an aha moment from this video, or if you want me to dive deeper into this topic, let me know. And until then, I'll see you next time. Have a fantastic week. Mwah.